This should have been the easiest question of the entire hearing, but when a U.S. Senator asked it, Democrats froze because the truth is now controversial in Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Moody.
Thank you, Chairman Cassidy, for convening this important hearing. As one of only a few mothers of school-aged children in the Senate, the safety and well-being of women and children is very important to me. I was disheartened to hear after the brave story of my colleague sharing that he was indeed adopted and that his birth mother was pressured to get an abortion and she bravely refused and carried him to term and gave him up for adoption, that was referred to as gaslighting. It's very hard for me also to sit here as someone who has been in the legal world and seen the horrific stories that have come to light about coercive abortions, that is gaslighting. I would ask my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to refrain from using that language because there have been very serious incidents where women and their children were harmed, and that is not gaslighting, that is fact. And I'm also disheartened that we heard, as we bring up the instance of men or even some women crushing up these abortion drugs and giving them to people surreptitiously in order to end a life, that we should tolerate this new trend in crime, in murder, because, as one of my Democratic colleagues just put it after referring to these instances as gaslighting, because, and I'm quoting my Democratic colleague, coercion of abortions is long-standing part of human history. That is unacceptable. And in fact, when I was Attorney General in Florida, just a year or so ago, a woman in Florida got an abortion drug from out of state as part of a plot to kill her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend's child in the womb. I mean, this stuff isn't made up. When I was a judge in Florida, back before I was the Attorney General, in my hometown, a guy got an abortion drug, put a different label on the bottle, labeled it as an antibiotic, and gave it to his former girlfriend and said, "You need to take this." And she did. And she had to testify at trial with a picture of a sonogram of that child. This is not gaslighting, this is happening. And as states are trying after Dobbs to come up with, as a people, what their laws are going to be, we here in Washington have to make sure that those laws that they come up with to prevent this kind of thing, to protect their people, are not circumvented. Ms. Verma, can men get pregnant?
Dr. Verma,
Yes.
I just want to make sure we're all
Dr. Verma,
addressing
can
each
men
other.
get pregnant? As a doctor, give me your opinion. As a doctor, can men get pregnant?
I mean,
I'll move on to the next one. Is doctor, can men get pregnant?
No.
I know you're a lawyer, an AG, like I was an AG. Can men get pregnant?
No.
Is there any reason why men should get their hands on the abortion drug?
None.
And are they getting their hands on an abortion drugs?
They are.
And are they getting them through the mail across state lines?
They are.
Even when it is illegal and the people have decided within states that they want to prevent that?
They are, and I would just add that that is because there is a concerted effort to prevent any accountability and any human contact. So they go to anybody who asks for them. They do not identify now, in many states, the prescriber, the pharmacy, or the recipient. And so this is very dangerous. It is, by design, created that way in order to circumvent Dobbs.
Is it easy for men to get abortion drugs across state lines?
Extraordinarily.
In fact, I had staff members who said, "My name is Michael, how do I get abortion drugs?" Would it surprise you to know that there are all kinds of organizations ready to satisfy that whim of a man to get abortion drugs?
Sadly, it does not surprise me.
And not just in your, I know from working with you as fellow attorneys general, I know that you value life and you want to protect life and you're doing everything you can to do that. But in your role as a prosecutor that is protecting people and is meant to, and it is your job to enforce the people's laws to protect people, are men getting these drugs and using them to surreptitiously end life in their girlfriends, wives, lovers, etc.?
They are men and in some times parents and women. And in two of the cases that we are in fact prosecuting, shield laws are blocking our ability to do that. And I cannot understand why any governor would refuse our extradition papers so that we can prosecute someone who coerced their child to have an abortion.
Chairman Cassidy, I see my time has expired. I appreciate you for facing this issue head on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
we witness yet another explosive Senate hearing that exposes the stark realities facing women across America. Senator Ashley Moody, a former attorney general and mother, refuses to back down as she confronts Democrats' witness on an issue that is both biological and moral: the truth about pregnancy and the misuse of abortion drugs. From the very start, Senator Moody sets the tone, grounding the discussion in real-world experiences, stories of coercion, danger, and abuse. She references cases where women were harmed, even in Florida, by men and others obtaining abortion drugs surreptitiously, showing that this is not some theoretical debate. These are not abstract statistics. These are lives at risk, children endangered, and the law being circumvented. Then comes the defining moment. Senator Moody directly asks Dr. Verma, can men get pregnant? This is a simple, science-based question meant to establish reality, not politics. But as the exchange unfolds, the witness struggles to provide a straight answer. Senator Moody presses forward with unflinching clarity, making it undeniable. The science is clear, and the law must reflect it. Biological men do not get pregnant. But this hearing isn't just about biology, it's about enforcement. Senator Moody exposes how abortion drugs are being obtained across state lines, often by men, sometimes even parents or third parties, circumventing state protections. This is a direct attack on state sovereignty and the ability of law enforcement to protect women and children. She highlights how shield laws and lax policies are preventing accountability, putting lives at risk, all while some Democratic officials turn a blind eye. Throughout the hearing, Moody's questioning is firm, precise, and relentless. She underscores the importance of laws reflecting both science and the moral imperative to protect life. She challenges the narrative that men should have access to abortion drugs, pointing out that these drugs are being used to harm, not to heal. And she leaves no doubt: the safety of women and children must come first. This isn't about partisanship. This is about truth, accountability, and protecting the most vulnerable. Senator Moody's unwavering focus, her insistence on facts over ideology, and her courage in confronting evasive witnesses is exactly what American citizens need in Washington today. Her questions cut through political spin and expose a dangerous reality. The Democrat-led policies that claim to empower women are, in practice, putting them in harm's way. The hearing closes, but the message is clear: Americans deserve leaders who will fight for truth, enforce the law, and defend life. Senator Moody demonstrated exactly that today, standing firmly on the side of science, safety, and the Constitution. For viewers across the country, this is a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the policies being pushed in Washington and the urgent need for accountability. Stay tuned to the Right Side Report as we continue to follow these hearings, break down the facts, and hold our leaders accountable. Tonight, the truth about pregnancy, abortion drugs, and state protections has never been clearer, and Senator Moody made sure no one could ignore it.